Welcome to another Tabletop by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back, everybody, to another Tabletop by Night production. As always, I'm Cole. I will be your storyteller for this evening. Should you wish to find us, you can find us at Tabletop by Night on nearly all platforms. Have a look across the bottom of the screen where you can find all of our socials. Tonight, we are going to touch base with a hunter cell. One of our favourite hunter cells, only hunter cells, located in the northern Sarasota area of Bradenton. After last week, they had a rather brazen proposal from one Dr. Kruger, offering an exorbitantly large amount of support if they can prove that they are able to access just some basic information gathering, so to speak. Last week as well, there was a few revelations for different members of the cell. And tonight we are going to start our journey off at the museum, where, after a brief text exchange, we're going to find Nicholas and Ella in the safe house. Apparently there's a few things that might need to be discussed. Where is Ella's headspace at coming into this evening?
She is a little rattled for multiple different reasons. The deal and the research that Cece wants them to do is not exactly sitting well with her, so that's on her mind.
Mm-hmm.
But she also has this, this journal with her buddy that has popped up again. That has been sitting on her mind too. So she wants to know why he's back.
Did she bring the journal with her this evening? Or today, this afternoon, I'm assuming? Friday
She
afternoon?
did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicholas, would you already be at the safe house, perhaps curating your library? Or would you have come in from maybe a beach trip or shopping?
I think he would have maybe went and treated himself to a nice dinner at a slightly fancier restaurant, um, by himself.
Mm-hmm.
He is wearing all black, dress slacks, black button up. He has definitely trimmed his beard in the last week, and has his hair kind of parted down the middle, sort of. He looks very nice, like he's just doing this for himself.
Yeah. A
He
little
is
bit of
wearing a
self-care.
very yeah. He is wearing a very interesting pocket wristwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is got it's a little mechanical face to it, and has his pendant on as usual. And he probably, after having lunch, would have just been hanging out at the safe house, waiting on Ella, seeing if all of his books are there, because he still doesn't trust William not to steal anything and not tell him.
You would, speaking of William, you would definitely see William sitting either at the computer desk or at the table, headphones on his laptop, rather oddly focused.
Okay, he's
Sort of,
not gonna bother him.
yeah. So, Ella, you arrive at the museum. Nod to one of the guards you have out the front, sort of patrolling around.
Mm-hmm. She'll head in. If William looks up, she'll wave hi. And
He doesn't
head
even look
over.
up. He notices that she waves, but he doesn't look up from the computer.
Typical. Goes over to Nicholas. So, and I'm trying to remember, actually, was Nicholas around for Connor round 1? No. So he doesn't know
No.
anything.
Connor is not Nicholas is not aware of who Connor is and his connection, I suppose, to you guys and to the local area.
Oh boy. So she has to go into like the whole story
Possibly.
of oh boy. So I've got a bit of a story to tell you.
I love a good story. Let me grab a cup of tea real quick. And he walks over and
Yeah.
makes them both some tea.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna make me some coffee. While you do that, I might as well start in on the story, and she'll just while they're making tea and coffee, just start in on the whole story about how they met Connor for the first time at Granny's at the flea market. and why Ella has a journal that has a spirit attached to it.
So, the story that Ella will tell Nicholas over the next sort of 5-10 minutes, almost in a random stream of consciousness, will sort of touch on they were asked to go and check out a potential poltergeist situation at a local flea market. They got there, discovered that there were urns that were manipulated into a kind of a ward, almost a time loop. Ella will touch base on the priest that was assisting them to begin with, and how he was able to identify and between everybody together neutralize the situation. which then allowed the particularly fuddled individual of Granny to slowly, seemingly regain her senses. It appeared it was a protective time loop that kept her sort of safe from releasing information, but it backfired. Whether or not Ella would discuss the individual that was a part of this, but the individual that was named wasn't really a name. It was just somebody who wore a grey hoodie, looked rather rough and ragged, and was often barefoot.
Yeah, she would mention the individual because it was mentioned in Connor's journal.
And potentially also mentioned that the way it was broken was certain symbols were rubbed off the bottom of the urns in this antique store. One of which was done by William. A couple of which were done by William with his jacket. 3 of them. There we go. And would also touch on how the journal was the first hint of what was going on, realistically, for Ella and for the team. Because there appeared to have been a spirit sort of connected to it somewhat that helped them to understand a bit more. And the spirit was the grandson of Granny, which majority of her family had passed just literally due to random consequences. And so it appeared it was spirit manipulation, time control, many different elements. But they thought that Connor had moved on and had been released. But it appears that for some reason he has decided to stay with Ella. So yeah, it appears that he has decided to maintain a connection with Ella for whatever reason.
Well, have you tried asking him?
I mean, he doesn't really answer in that way. He kind of... he's vague in his answers.
Okay, well, can I look at the journal?
Sure. He may even say hi. And she'll take the journal out of her bag.
It appears to be a kind of standard plain brown leather journal.
How old does it look?
The journal itself looks a lot older than you would think of. It's a rather old-looking journal that's weathered. Pages are slightly yellowed on the outside.
He'll gently take it from Ella, and while he's waiting on his tea to brew, he will gently, very gently, flip through it and look at the handwriting and read some of it.
As your hand touches the journal, I would like you to make me a wits and occult roll, please.
Do I get a +1 for my artifact?
Mm-hmm.
Ella's kind of looking all around him to see if her buddy shows up.
Is she going to pop sense the unnatural, or...
That's right, I have that now, yes.
Okay, can you please make me your edge test for that?
Give me just 1 second, I'm gonna reroll, Sam.
Okay.
Do you remember what your edge test is for that? Wits and occult, or wits and science, depending on how you are doing it. Straight 6 or 6 of the crit?
Straight 6.
Straight 6. As your hand touches the journal, there is almost a static shock, but a gentle one, as if an energy sort of almost vibration. And as always, for you when dealing with anything occult, the gentle caress of a feather across the cheek. You feel a hand settle on your shoulders. There's one hand on your left shoulder.
Nick will smile and open the journal.
As you open the journal, looking through, it is modern day. It looks like a normal ballpoint pen. It's the conversations and ramblings of a young man. Talks about how, he's going to help Granny out because, she's getting older and she's sort of the family he's got. He talks about college, talks about his roommates, talks about very average sort of late teen, early 20s sort of kid, to be honest. Has a bit of a grumble about how he's a bit suspicious about this guy that's hanging around, quote unquote, helping Granny. And talks about he seems to mean well, so it's okay. Granny's helping him find things that he needs, and but he's not a fan of him. He doesn't trust him. Talks about how his journal, he's told by his therapist that keeping a journal is a good thing. Because after his parents passed away, being able to talk about things is important. So journaling's been his way to start doing it.
I got 2, by the way.
2.
Mm-hmm.
With 2 successes, it's almost like without your hand on that journal, you can't push through. You get a small sense behind Nicholas, but you can't actually see Connor and you can't really pick up on anything, unfortunately. You can get the feeling that he's maybe paying attention, but you can't really figure out where or what.
Okay.
While you're reading, if your fingers does Nick trail his fingers over the pages at all, or does he just turn and read?
Oh yeah, he trails over the pages.
As his fingers trail over the pages, and it comes to the end of Connor's writings, you can see a couple of pages in. After that, some scribbling in what you might recognize as Emery's handwriting. Ella, you would remember that Emery attempted to write in the journal to communicate with Connor at one point.
That's right.
When you guys were sitting in the car park at the flea market that time, waiting.
Yep.
So, you do see a bit of a scroll of Emery's writing asking a question or two. But at the end of the journal, at the end of where Connor's writing is, the hand just sort of gently tightens. Not in a threatening manner, just a little bit of pressure.
Nicholas is just going to outright ask out loud, "Hey Connor, you want to talk?"
You get just another squeeze.
can you describe the squeeze? Like, is it the way that someone does at a funeral that is the acknowledgement of passing and death? Or is it like a reassuring squeeze, yes, y'all are not crazy? Like,
Yeah, it's it almost give me a wits and insight roll if you want to actually really read into this, please.
sure.
Welcome to Hunter People, where we are making a wits and insight roll into a squeeze.
Squeeze
We
from
could
a
even call
ghost?
it a main squeeze.
Oh, boo.
The squeeze sign roll.
We're doing some re-rolls on that because that's BS.
Please track your willpower for the evening.
Always, dear,
Awesome.
always.
Good.
2.
It feels like a. It is an enthusiastic squeeze without being aggressive.
Would Nicholas know the best way to communicate with the spirit?
Intelligence occult roll, please. And I will allow you to add your specialty in this instance.
Ooh,
Because
okay.
there are many cases in Druidic lore wherein you can communicate with spirits. And that speak on and touch on the communication with spirits.
Now, I have a question for clarification's sake. I wouldn't get any desperation because this is a friendly encounter, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I assumed. I just wanted to make sure. And you said wits in occult or in occult?
Intelligence and occult. Because you are recalling from learned knowledge.
5.
Okay. With 5 successes, you would know of different methods of communicating with the spirit. There are direct communication, there is via tapping or symbols, which through this interaction, you can gather at this point in time, Connor is possibly not strong enough to break through more than that physical touch on the person holding the journal. It's quite common for a spirit to be fettered to an actual item. And yes, I did use that word, folks. To be fettered or connected to an item. So in this instance, it is very easy to make the assumption that the communication you have is sort of what you've got for now.
Okay. As Nicholas is adding his 2 sugars in milk to his Earl Grey tea, he sets the book down, stirs his tea.
When you put the journal down and you take your hand off it, the sensation of the hand leaves your shoulders.
So, in simplest terms, he is here because he can't leave because he's attached to that book, the journal.
He can't leave because of the journal.
So sometimes when people die, they have such an emotional attachment to things. Their essence, their spirit, their electromagnetic field. He looks over William's direction, even though he's not paying attention. Whatever you want to call it, sometimes tends to imprint and linger on objects. Out of character, Cole, is fetter a word that would come up in this instance that Nick would know, or was that just for?
that is more for your understanding. The other thing that you would also know is there are certain times, there have been in recording of times, where individuals may remain in order to fulfill a mission or for their own reason, not always just because they feel bound to something.
He also could have some unfinished business. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little column A, a little column B, sips tea. Um, he then grabs the hotel coffee cup, I imagine, that he's using, with the tea bag still in it and the journal, and sits down on the couch with Ella.
Okay.
So again, as you pick that journal up, it's the same almost. Again, it's not a static shock, but it's like a quick connector. And you feel the hand back on your shoulder again.
Right now, I don't think he's strong enough to communicate more than any of the shoulder squeezes and tippy tappies he's been doing, so. I would
Okay.
recommend, if you want to figure out why he's here, if he keeps doing this when that book's involved, that maybe wouldn't carry the book around with you for a little while, because I'd imagine if something happens to it, who knows what would happen to him.
Okay, so keep the book here?
I can put it on the bookcase if you'd like.
Probably the safest place for it.
Sure.
You get at that a double squeeze, but it's more of a feels almost
Like
frustrated.
He's got the book in his hand. He set his tea down. He has at this point flipped off his tennis shoes, curled up, put the book in his lap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't want to go on the bookcase. Where do you want to go?
You get a single squeeze, almost a gentle push in the direction of Ella.
He's gonna hand the book to Ella. And he's got a smirk on his face.
Do you grab the book?
Yeah, she'll take the book.
As you take the book and you feel the hand on your shoulder, Nicholas, with that 5 successes earlier, and having sensed the unnatural yourself, you don't have sense?
No, he has thought.
You have thought. With that 5 successes earlier, though, I'm going to give you see an almost shimmer behind Ella. Just standing to the side behind her, it's almost like a shimmer, like a shift in the visual. It's a visual distortion.
Mm-hmm.
And just Ella, you feel the hand on your shoulder again. It's not. It feels like Emery standing behind you with a hand on your shoulder. It feels like sibling energy almost.
Okay. Did he want you to do this?
What, hand you the book back?
Yeah, you gave me a look there.
Yes, he wanted me to hand you the book.
You get a double squeeze from Connor. Which you guys once sat down and talked about. It was 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Okay.
Is Ella gonna tell him that there was a thing?
That we have a system? Yeah. We kind of have a system for yes and no questions. He just gave me my answer.
You mean you didn't think to tell me that before, Ella, darling? Here, I have an idea. Hand me the book back. I'm sorry, Connor.
Okay. Here's
And
the
he's
book.
gonna grab it.
One squeeze for yes, 2 squeezes for no.
The hand settles back on Nick's shoulder If a feeling could give a sigh of frustration,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Nick is going to then blatantly ask, "Are you still here because you have unfinished business?"
You don't get a response.
Is the hand still there though?
Yes.
Are you here because you're attached to your journal and can't leave?
2 squeezes.
That means no, right? Okay. Okay, so he's not just here because he's bound to the book. It's like a attachment thing. Do you have
Okay.
any? Do you have any questions? You were more involved in this than I am.
Does it have anything to do with what happened at your grandmother's?
1 squeeze. Yes.
And then knowing the context, Nicholas is going to ask after. Actually, Nicholas at this point, after probably handing the book back to Ella, is just going to be like, "Okay, this is what we're going to do, so we quit giving this poor kid a conniption." He puts the book on the table and treats it like a Ouija board, and tells Ella to put her hand on it as well, so he could just kind of pass freely for whichever one is talking.
Okay. Hand on the book.
Instead of the hand on the shoulder, because there are 2 of you touching the book, it's almost like a kid putting their hand in at a sports game. A 3rd hand goes over top of both of yours. The feeling of a hand on your hand over the journal. For both of you while you're touching it.
Okay. Do you want us to help you resolve what's left?
There's no answer.
Is that guy in your journal coming around Granny again?
2 squeezes.
So no.
No.
Okay.
While you 2 are sort of pondering what to ask him next, you feel the fingers almost do the tudum, 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 in impatience.
Like he's getting impatient?
He's bored. He's impatient, yeah. Really, come on. Get with the program. You're being sassed by a ghost. How does it feel?
Nicholas is not surprised. Before Nicholas asks this next thing, because he's going to ask it to Ella, he's going to take his hand off of the book.
Yeah.
Ella will also take her hand off the book.
Is Granny okay?
When we left her, she was fine.
I think I know what he might want us to do. Puts his hand back on the book. Do you want us to go check on your granny?
2 squeezes very rapidly. No.
No, don't take me back there. And
if you could ever have the feeling of a child going, "Oh, hell no, I ain't going there," that was what you just got.
I mean, we weren't going to take him, but I mean, Nicholas wasn't. He was just going to go check on her for him and tell him how she was doing.
Granny was a bit, like, helicopter Granny.
I'm from the South, I understand. Really sucks that I wasn't there when this happened, because maybe I'd have enough in-person, first-person context to know what exactly he's wanting us to do. And he's saying this to Ella.
Yeah, I mean, there is a 3rd person who was in this room who was there. William!
Well, William, you gotta pay attention
William-
to being yelled at across the room after you're watching them hand a journal you haven't seen for a while, backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards and on the table, and hands off and hands on and hands off and hands on.
William's been watching this exchange out of the corner of his eye, a little bit confused, but he's not really been paying attention.
No.
But now that he's been yelled at, he's going to take off his headphones, close the laptop. Yes, Ella, what is it?
Want to talk to a ghosty?
Connor's back?
Yeah, come here.
He rushes over there. You didn't know William could go that fast.
Okay, Sonic, calm down.
Okay. Are you
So,
Are you doing like a Ouija board thing?
kinda.
No, not quite. I have one though. If you ever want to actually, maybe fuck around and find out in the graveyard one night. And he winks. at
No.
you.
That sounds terrifying.
Oh, it absolutely is in the best way possible.
So, what exactly have you guys been doing? What are you doing?
We're trying to figure out why he's back.
It's not because he's tethered to the book. To the book.
I'm sorry for the
You think
feline
he-
interruptions.
It was more your face than anything, Cole, that made me laugh.
Yep.
He
Did you
is
ever-
not necessarily here because it has something to do with him being an object of significance to him. It has something to do with Granny, but he can only communicate in yes and no's, and I think I'm starting to piss him off. So, have at it, William. You were there.
Do you think he might be here just because he's lonely?
Are any of you touching the book when William says this?
Nicholas is.
Ella is.
William is. William's just gonna glide his hand across it.
So if all three of you are touching it, it's like, again, like kids putting their hand like this, you get the hand on top of
Yep.
yours. One squeeze. For yes.
Oh, buddy.
It's very reasonable to assume at this point in time that you guys just have a friend.
Oh. Connor.
Well, you could have said no to the granny bit, and I think that might have helped me put two and two together. Sorry, buddy.
Tap, 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 tap.
I think he was bored and he was screwing with you.
Yes.
Look. I am sorry, Connor. But, so, no bookcase. I guess just pal around with Ella? Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Well, that's up to her. I can't make that decision for her.
Ella's gonna take her hand off the book.
Connor, you were a college student. I can give you lectures.
Ella's gonna take the book now.
So say
He said he was
before you take
bored.
the book, you get just like a one, but then another rapid second one after it, but then almost the fingers move from side to side like a maybe.
The kid said he was bored.
And this is the first student I've ever had I can't bore to death.
Because he's already dead.
Exactly. It's
Isn't that like-
perfect.
I mean, no, I have a suspicion. somehow the journal will just mysteriously burst into flames the minute William touches it to give a lecture.
Ella has it in her hand. That might be an answer.
2 squeezes. No. It won't.
No?
Well, Connor, you want to hunt a vampire, maybe?
1. Sure.
Ella's gone stone-faced.
What was that? What was the answer to that? Did he answer you?
Nope, there was no answer.
I don't believe you.
Squeeze. Just a slightly firmer squeeze on Ella's shoulder.
There was no answer.
Ella, I
Nicholas
don't
is
believe
just gonna
you.
gently put his hand on the book and ask the question very fastly. Do you want to hunt a vampire?
1.
There was no answer.
1. And then that's all you get.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So wait, what happens if we have a ghost possess the vampire? Is
We're
that
not-
a thing?
I have a feeling that's going to be so fucked up.
We're not gonna have a ghost possess. That's, you have terrible ideas.
But you want to keep one as a pet. Okay, sure, and I'm the bad idea fairy, William.
It's just a kid. He's a kid who died. What are you talking about, pets?
And I said you wanted to keep a vampire as a pet.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the ghost. Yes, I do want to
No.
keep a vampire as a pet.
And that is not an equally horrible idea?
Connor, I'm going to put you away now. These two are terrible. And she's going to put the journal in her bag.
Well, saying I want to keep a vampire as a pet is kind of like saying I want to keep a lab rat as a pet.
Yeah.
A lab rat who, if it got out or had friends that came looking for it, could murder us all. I would rather take my chances with the ghost possessing the vampire.
I mean, that just sounds like a normal lab rat.
Connor is not possessing a vampire.
I know Connor is not possessing a vampire. I was just curious, wondering what would happen, and I said the quiet thought out loud. Ella.
You did. You let the intrusive thoughts win.
That was more of me just wondering what would happen. I'm sure we can find another ghost around here. Just like William is planning to find lots of vampires.
And bring them home.
It's at this time that I'm guessing Emery would probably message Ella, asking if she's still keen to meet up. Still keen to come with her and Victor. To
Correct.
maybe do a bit of work.
Okay.
And does
I'm
tomorrow
gonna
work?
head out. Yeah. Great. Just gonna text back. Yep. Tomorrow's fine.
So, considering the evening is probably going to revolve around discussions and debates as to whether spirits can possess vampires, how many more spirits could you find, Nick, to possess the vampire for you? Considering you said we might have to find a different one?
I don't think there was a might to that.
Okay.
But Nick is now he's just curious how haunted this part of Florida is what it really turned into.
And more discussions based on the occult in general. At the end of the evening, William, returning back to your final piece of research, you have been looking into Biotech Industries, which was the organization that Dr. Kruger mentioned that she worked for. I want you to cast your mind back to a few months ago when you first looked into Sable Enterprises. The website that sort of led you to the museum being part of the Arcanum. Dusky homes and livings having a bit of a rose motif. Biotech Industries and R&D, so research and development facility, having the symbol instead of copyright, had the Monster X symbol. So they do have something, as I've already sent you this information, but for those at home, they did move from Italy to Florida about 10 or so years ago. There is no definitive timing on that, but for William is definitely an interesting point. There isn't a definitive address for Sable Enterprises itself, but there is one for Biotech Industries. And that's in the West Bradenton area, which isn't that far off. And there's actually quite a few different research facilities, medical research facilities in that area. Sort of not too far from the hospital, the main hospital in the area. You don't find anything that sort of gives you the idea it might be vampiric in nature. If anything, they're more likely to be developing materials that would work well to fight against vampires or against the supernatural. Enhanced UV rays, UV torches for grow lights. That's how they're marketed. Different injection methods for long distance dosages for patients who need to be restrained in a hurry. So predominantly mental health care, or the extreme side of methods of crowd control. So different crowd control technologies that are slightly on the odd sound in the sense that they use, again, bright lights or sounds, some of which are outside of the normal decibel range for humans. You would know as well, if you were to, which we've discussed, possibly use some of your Arcanum contacts to learn some of this information. They're known as, Monster X are known as sort of the mavericks of the world. They put out a lot of big claims. Sometimes they deliver, sometimes they don't. The one additional thing you find, and this is because you've used for the first time that lovely global access edge that you picked up, you do find a glimpse, tiniest glimpse of camera footage on a Reddit post when you're looking at, maybe you're looking at a few of the extra things, because Grover taught you to sort of look everywhere, not just on the official sites. Sometimes on Reddit you find some of the more interesting things. A glimpse of blonde hair running out of a room. Looks very familiar. It's linked to talk of poltergeists. You recognize the location as being the flea market. I would like you, please, to give me I want an intelligence and insight, please. See if you can fully make the connection.
Ooh. That's a good roll, but I'm gonna spend a point of willpower to re-roll anyway.
Okay.
That is 6 successes.
One of the things that you guys found out during the resolving the incidents of poltergeist and at the flea market was that an item had been stolen. So the video evidence links up with when you were told the item was stolen. You were never told what the item was, but it's safe to say that there is a good way of connecting that. Cece asked you to look into the flea market because maybe she saw what you saw. Maybe she had a glimpse of it. Maybe she was a part of that. Why would she be a part of that if not for information herself? Was there something that was crucial to research there? But the footage is actually not from the interior camera, but the exterior camera, where you see her and a number of other people getting into a van and hightailing it out of there. So armed with this new information regarding your colleague, adversary in research, now across to the next morning. We're currently missing a player, so we might take our quick break now. Meet everybody back here in a couple of minutes and reconvene with Victor and Emery and Ella. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes, folks. Go and get a drink, get a snack, stretch your legs, and we'll see you soon. welcome back. I hope everyone got a drink and a snack, because snacks are important, always, 100%. And have stretched your legs and are ready to rumble. Because we are going to do a very quick cut straight back to Saturday morning, where Ella and Emery, a familiar location at the Airbnb, a very familiar setting where the coffee pot has already started to go off, with the automatic coffee pot. It's already started to go off. And you're awakened to the smell of freshly brewed coffee. And no doubt possibly Emery in the backyard working out, skipping, doing some form of cardio, as is her wont to do.
Coffee first.
So as you ponder into the kitchen, delicious smell of coffee assaulting your nostrils. Another smell assaults your nostrils as your sweaty sister walks into the kitchen, sort of rubbing a towel on her neck and approaching you for the morning.
What's up?
Nothing. We still got plans for today?
We sure do.
Alright, let's get going. We'll go pick up Victor.
All right. And Emery would probably take her rightful seat in the passenger side of the car.
100% shotgun.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, after showering and getting organised for the day, you guys all arrive to jump in the car and turn up at Victor's place, which is probably one of the first times you've actually been to Victor's apartment building. Very reserved and private sort of an individual. So this is a new thing. Victor, would you meet them downstairs and out the front?
Oh, man.
Yep. Victor is actually waiting, like, yeah, down there. And he's eager to go. Let's say that.
So yeah, so you guys find Victor downstairs, pull up, he jumps in the car rather quickly, just, yep, alright, let's get out of here.
Oh, alright. Let's ready and... Guess we're going. Okay.
So what's the plan, folks? Where are we going first? What are we doing?
Heading to... We already done all the shopping and whatnot?
Well, you guys could very easily go do the shopping for the items required for the day. Pondering through the lumberyard, a local like hardware store.
Let's, I guess just do that, and then wherever we need to go to start making this stuff.
Okay. Not long after you guys leave, after you leave Victor, you get a text message. So am I allowed to go out to lunch with my friends, or are you going to follow me there too?
He's going to close the phone and just not responding. Anything interesting in your week? He's asking that to Emery and Ella.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm here for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is gonna be fun. And she's just kind of drumming because she knows there's a journal in her back seat in her bag.
Can I insight that, please?
Yeah, me too.
You guys can roll the wits and insight if you want to.
That was weird
Okay.
even for me.
Can I roll to against it?
You can give me a manipulation subterfuge if you would like.
It's a charisma insight, or it's a composure insight?
Wits and insight.
Wits. Ah,
Because you are paying
really
attention.
better.
You are paying attention to the situation.
Oh shit! I did it in the wrong place. Sorry.
I don't know. What should be the name of this episode now?
That's pretty
I'm going
good.
to- I'm going to reroll
I'm gonna use willpower right now.
I'm kind of keen with. Oh shit! I did it in the wrong place. That sounds like a good.
Yes. Yeah.
4 successes.
4 successes. 2. What?
7.
Emery, you used to your sister being weird. Victor,
Yeah.
something's a little off. It's a weird comment even for you. But you can't quite figure out what it is that... You know, maybe Ella just hasn't had enough coffee this morning. She's a bit of an odd one like that. But nothing really is a major concern for you. As you guys head over the bridge from Bradenton to the Ellerton area, to the blacksmithy that Emery once attended.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And that same grizzled, frazzle-beard gentleman is there to meet you.
I give him a hearty handshake again.
Yeah, good to see you. It's good to see repeat customers. Bought the extras.
I
They're not
brought
gonna
some friends with me.
They're not gonna burn the place down on me, are they?
I'm not gonna promise that.
Rude.
Righto. Either way, if you burn it down, you pay for it. That's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm not gonna be
Understandable.
around today. You think you can manage to... I was gonna unlock and leave you to it. I got a few other things to do.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine.
You get the feeling that he sort of, because he knows you know your way around, he's like, yeah, it should be right. So he goes and he unlocks the place for you and lets the 3 of you in. It is what
Cool.
appears to be a modern day smithy. It has many different tools for the heating and manipulation of metal, some very fine artisanal wooden crafting tools. It's got a majority of what you would need to do what you need to do.
Okay.
So, with probably purchasing 2-3 crossbows, some
Mhm.
And the net.
Oh my god.
We're gonna make it happen. Don't you worry about it.
and the net,
Some steaks.
and you've got. Did you actually go to Michael's and get some
Yeah,
knitting
of course
needles?
we fucking went to Michael's. Yes,
Right,
we
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to a craft store and collected rather large knitting needles, wooden ones, and you got some probably hardwood lengths from the lumber yard or the materials, whatever you guys have over
Yep.
their hardware store.
Yeah.
And you start the work for the day. So I'd like to know who's doing what.
Alright, so we have 3 things that we were looking to make.
Mm-hmm.
A. Proficient crossbows that can actually hold stakes.
Okay.
B. Stakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then C, we were looking to see if we could make bullet rounds that are wooden. So essentially, we'd be making wooden aspect bullets to fit certain guns.
Okay, so essentially what you're attempting to create is crossbows that fire stakes, the stakes that go into said crossbows, and specialist rounds.
Correct.
Okay, who's going to do what?
So I have the exotic specialty that allows me to make these. I think Victor does as well.
Yep.
I also have. Give me a sec. Let me look at my sheet. Special features more accuracy, so I can make them more accurate.
Mm-hmm. So are you going to have Emery working on the rounds then?
In my opinion, but I'm gonna bring it to the team on what they might want to do. I'm just thinking more plausibly of like who's gonna be better at what weaponry.
Yeah.
Well,
Victor's
from what I can
it's
see,
more of a-
it would be better for Victor to be working on the crossbow. Then,
yeah.
And then Ella can do the stakes.
Ella's doing the stakes. Ella's bringing her.
Ella's pencil sharpening today. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to get Victor. I need a dex and craft with your weaponsmithing, please.
Okay.
As you
Do I have any modifier? Sorry.
as you start to manipulate and basically re-engineer these crossbows to fire a larger round. Now, bearing in mind with a crossbow, the thing that's important is the bolt, or in this case, the stake, that the notch is accurately placed. Without that notch, it's not going to lock in. So that is actually one of the integral parts of the crossbow. So you'll be raising the notch placement location, widening the main shaft, and then adjusting the tension of the string and the locking mechanisms. You do technically could take, I believe it's 2. A double check because we seem to have a distracted player.
Sorry.
You can get 1 help dice because Ella does not have any dots in craft.
Do we have any modifier because we are in a modern?
You have
Stuff
not
like that.
purchased with XP, which is so to gain a modifier from a location, it usually requires the purchase of the particular trait or area with experience points. So in this point in time, you get 1 help dice because Emery is present. So you guys could definitely sort of liaise and chat and talk about it. But unfortunately, Ella cannot give you a help dice. She does not even have craft.
I thought I did.
Okay.
I do not.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. It's fine.
I have-
Don't worry.
I have firearms, not craft.
I'm going to reroll that.
Yeah.
Because we need that. Seven successes.
Absolutely amazing. You only needed to get to 5. You guys are able to quite easily engineer the first one and get that rolling. That has lowered the difficulty for the remaining 2. So very easily you are able to figure it out. You know, make sure that you get the sort of height proper for, we're going to go, so to speak, to begin with the knitting needles, which are oversized but easy to create a notch in the end of. Ella, I'm going to get you to make me a dex check, please, because you don't actually have any dots in craft.
Yep. This is gonna be great, guys.
Going to place a mannequin and test it.
So just your dexterity is all you're rolling for this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Ella, what did you roll to have that face?
Give me a second. 1.
Victor and Amory, while Victor's working on that first crossbow, you've given Ella a sharp plane to start shaving down and shaping the bolts for the crossbows. You hear Ella swear at one point. For some reason, somehow, she's actually sliced herself. You're going to take 1 superficial damage and have a slice across the back of your left hand,
Wow.
where you almost planed a bit of your own skin off. I'm going to leave the choice to you guys as to whether you keep Ella there or send her out to go get lunch, while you guys work on the weapons.
Have lunch, yes.
Yeah,
Lunch, please.
just stitch yourself, okay? And get us lunch, please. Thank you.
So Ella, Pride a little bit wounded. Do you hang around or do you head out and go get lunch and snacks and supplies?
So go get lunch. She gets to drive her fucking car today.
Yes. So after Ella leaves, Victor, I'm going to get you to make me 2 more rolls. Same pool for the crossbows, please. You have a difficulty of 5 for them to be functional. I will get you to mark those down and let me know in a minute, okay? Emery, you are spending your focus on creating... You're looking to create wooden-tipped bullets.
Fully wooden.
To create a fully wooden bullet, you are looking at using essentially an old school, what do they call them? Brown Bess.
I don't know what that is.
You will need to individually pack the gunpowder and the projectile into the weapon.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So using where were they? If one of you guys can assist me with the knowledge, historical knowledge here.
Like an old school musket?
That's the word I'm looking
Yeah,
for.
no,
Thank you very
no.
much.
I'll just go with the wooden tipped then if it's going to be that much of a struggle.
Because if you are going to go with a solid wooden bullet, you need to provide some sort of propulsion, which requires a musket and some extremely hard wood to do that.
All right, I will just do tipped then.
Just a tip? Cool.
I'll-
Alright,
Do you want me to roll my edge first for the exotics and the special feature?
please. I was actually about to ask you to make your edge test.
Do you want me to do them separately or one and all? Because it's all under the arsenal.
You only need to make the one roll, because you are creating one item.
Does my weapons smithing
Yes.
count in this as well?
Yes. Yes, it will.
All right, let me get that going. I'm just waiting for William to do his. I know he already spent it.
Victor? Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's done his 2 rolls, then off and race.
Yeah, I've done. One of
Hold on to that thought. I just want to finish off here, and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
I'm using a willpower.
Yep.
Okay, I am ready when you are.
Okay. What was your roll?
4 successes
So just the 4. Okay.
for my edge test. I don't know if you want me to roll for.
No, we'll get you to give me a dex and craft, including your weaponsmithing. 1 additional help dice. I will give you 1 additional dice because you have that perk. But just know that because you don't have any schematics to work off, you are essentially creating something. This is going to take you the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
And the difficulty
Understood.
is a bit higher.
Yeah.
Dice rolling, people, it's thrilling.
Peak.
I'm gonna use another willpower.
Yep.
Oh, no, I don't have to. Those were all successes. I'm blind. So 5 successes.
5 successes. Over the course of the day, you are able to formulate and create 2
Fuck.
rounds that you feel may be effective for use in a +2 weapon, the equivalency of a +2 weapon.
Okay.
So they are not high-powered rounds. You're pretty good guess that if you put them in Victor's or your own long-range weapon, they probably wouldn't make it. Because of the power behind it to push it the distance that it needs. They can be used in a +2 weapon. You're not sure how effective they'll be as a stake or otherwise, but you have them.
Okay.
Okay. Crossbows. What were your rolls, Victor?
We have one with 9 with a critical,
Yep.
and of the course of the day, is going to think really bad of what happened. And it's a 2 for the second crossbow, so the last crossbow. Yeah.
So the first 2, the first one, you know what you're doing. It's great. You get a good feel for it. The second one, immaculate. It is some of your best work. On the third one, the fingers are too tired from holding the tension of the different pieces all day. It snaps back and the actual string, so the actual tension wire snaps, and the entire neck folds. Regardless of how much work you do, you're probably not going to be able to save this, but you have come out of there with 2 functional crossbows. That I'm going to give the pair of you. It's not hard for you two with your skills and knowledge to fashion a couple of stakes that will fit in there. It's not tricky. You both have the weaponsmithing specialty to your craft. During the course of the day, Ella is in and out with drinks, snacks, probably bored on her phone. If you've ever seen one of those high-speed montages where you got 2 people working away and someone else... That's essentially what Ella's day looks like. At about 9:30 in the evening, probably when you'd be finishing up work on all the things you've been doing. Emery, you would have watched Victor do the first 2 and then notice a failure on the third.
Alright, I'm gonna walk up to him and I'm gonna pat him on the back and I'm gonna say, they can't all be winners.
Look at this crap. Cannot salvage this.
Well, you made 2 and they seem very good. But here, I got you this, and then I'll give him one of the bullets. I could only make 2, so one for you, one for me.
Huh.
Ella's just
You
gonna
read-
walk up behind him and go, "At least you didn't do this," and just
Just still a wound. You didn't even go to the hospital.
It's not hospital worthy. It's a good slice, but it'll heal. It's fine.
It's not tricky. It's just you have a method to do it. It's fine. It's just. Emery, you realize that it's not going to work with our guns, right?
I mean, it'll work with most likely a pistol, which I have,
Hmm?
and I assume you would with your.
Yeah. I mean, we have one in the cell.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
Victor, they are of comparable craft to the incendiary rounds that you crafted recently.
Oh.
those
Yeah.
look pretty good.
Yeah. I've tried some. I've tried to forge my own incendiary rounds.
Oh,
Basically.
interesting. I
Yeah.
actually went through a contact to get my own, so we could probably
No
use
way.
those as well as a mold.
That's clever. Yeah, we could do that, and I don't have to actually spend 4 hours and to have a fucking destroyed crossbow. Yeah.
It happens. We'll try again later.
No,
How's that?
no. Yeah,
Okay,
I
I'll
guess
try
so.
again later. I'm clearly the more optimistic one here.
No, it's
We
not that. It's just
we still have 2 fully functional crossbows that can launch stakes now, so
Yeah.
You
that
want
was
to try?
2 more than we had.
You gonna test one?
Yes. Shoot off, Victor. You and me.
So I will say
Okay.
that during the course of the day, you have also crafted, because you've obviously got to notch it in, smooth the wood, ensure there's no splinters to grab on the way through. You would have crafted 8 stakes that will fit these crossbows.
Mhm.
Lots of sanding has occurred today.
Okay. All right. Crafty, please clip that and send it to me. So Emery will ask Ella to set up a target base for Victor and Emery to do some shooting.
Yeah, sure.
Easy enough to grab a couple of the cushions off the owner's couch in the reception area and set them up in the workshop.
So aiming the head is not going to work, right?
Well, I mean,
I don't know. You tell me.
we can certainly try.
Would Ella, with her new with her background, would know the answer? That stake to the heart.
Yep.
Aim for the heart.
Oh, have you been doing some research?
Aim for the heart.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay. You can dex and firearms or composure and firearms, please.
Yeah.
For both Emery and Victor, as we have a stake off at the couch cushions against the wall of the workshop.
After a lot of sanding.
Lots of sanding. Can't have any
So
splinters
much
there.
sanding.
No splinters allowed. That's probably the main job Ella would have been given if she was really bored, is just to sand the stakes.
I'm using another willpower.
By success.
At 5.
Yep.
Gotta use a willpower to beat the cellmate.
4 successes. I have 2 willpower left.
So, you guys both fire a crossbow each. Victor held on to the better one for himself in this situation, and it seems to have provided just a slight amount of an edge here. Victor's stake goes through the couch cushion and partially embeds itself in the wall. Emery's is just sort of slightly off center. but both
He's going to
crossbows are effective.
he's going to look at the target, look if the kick of the crossbow is working. Okay, that's not bad.
So, to let you both know, these crossbows are a +2 light piercing. Stakes are still at a +0 as a weapon though. So, depending on the range of firing will be depending on the bonus that you get when they are fired. Ella, how do you feel about seeing something that could destroy a leech? How does that sit for you? Bit of a
It's
flashback?
weird. Yeah.
Want to try that?
Sure, I'll try it.
He hands you his crossbow.
You are using composure and firearms.
Okay. That's good. That's a good thing for me.
Good. Give me your composure and firearms roll. Pardon me.
Ooh. 6 with a crit.
Both Emery and Victor, you see an almost moment of steely resolve go over Ella's face as an internal battle seems to happen. But at the moment that trigger's pulled, there's no question. And it is a solid, clean, clear shot. The tip of this stake is embedded in the wall. You will need to physically remove it.
Nice.
Nice going, sis.
So what do you feel? Is it too heavy? Not heavy? Yes. It's perfect.
It's beautifully
No,
balanced.
it feels good.
It is. It's a perfectly balanced crossbow.
Yeah,
You
no,
okay?
it feels good. She's kind of just holding it and looking at it like I'm alright. She just stone face hands it back. Hands it
You
back.
sure? I mean, that's just a dummy, you know?
Yeah, I know. I set it up.
I'm gonna take the stake out of the wall.
It does leave a little notch in the wall.
Is there any drywall in the area?
It's wooden. They're wooden walls. It's not a big deal. You see, there's been other
I'm gonna get some wood glue and I'm just gonna
chunks of
just
metal
like
have shipped.
pat it in there.
It's a blacksmithing workshop. It's got chunks and bits missing out of the walls everywhere. It's not a surprise. But at the end of your evening, tired, I'm guessing that you two would drop Victor off back home. And probably then go and enjoy your Sunday. Ready for everyone to meet up on the Monday morning or Monday afternoon. As usual. So Monday finds you all. Where would everyone be on a Monday afternoon at about 3-4 o'clock? What's happening here? Where are we at?
Nicholas would be at the safe house pretty early. In like some pajamas. He's just kicking it.
Sitting back on the couch, pajamas, maybe a blankie, reading a book.
Probably also double at some point in the day because he's there so early reading back over that dossier that was given by Dr. Kruger.
Yep. You guys all have access to that information. William, I'm assuming you would be at work that day anyway?
William? William is probably, yeah, he's probably working in the museum today. Probably doing his usual job. Notable to the people at the safe house, because he's been staying in the lab at the safe house. He didn't sleep there last night. He went home. But he is working back at the museum today, doing his usual stuff, giving lectures, all that stuff for the kiddos, uh, doing his usual thing.
So for the first time in a while, William smells fresh. And looks
Thank you. We
fresh.
appreciate it.
He actually shaved. He started to look a little wild.
A little? Oof. So, Victor, I'm guessing you would be coming from work at the coffee shop?
Yeah. He's looking for William.
Is he bringing his usual coffees?
Yeah, in a bag with him. It's just before, sell reunion, basically. Going to go straight towards William and fight him, if he can.
Shouldn't be too hard, because I'm assuming by now William would be heading back to meet up with everybody. It's pretty well known you guys catch up on a Monday afternoon to sort of chat about the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, as Victor, you walk in with your normal selection of beverages. Nick's on the couch, William's pondering on in probably a little bit before you, so he's already in there. And the sisters will
Probably.
be following up in a couple of minutes. So, Victor, you head straight for William.
Yep. Hey, William. Can I borrow you for 2 minutes? I need something.
Sure. You want to step into my office, or?
It's not going to be long. It's just I don't want. Well, I want that to be done. Can you make some research for me?
Sure. What do you need? What do you need researched?
I need, and I'm going to pass like photos from the teacher. I was looking for information. I can you look into this guy? Maybe it's not related to our case. Okay. It's just I just want to know what it's about. If that's okay with you. I'm not really into researching database and stuff like that.
What is slid across
So-
you is a face and a name, notably of a professor at a local Florida university.
Would I know this name?
I'm going to get you to give me an intelligence academics for this, actually, to see if you recall it. Because that, yeah.
Well, that kind of solves what my fear was.
What's that?
It was
Please.
a touchstone. Three successes.
You do not recognize this individual. There's quite a few universities and colleges around the area. So it's possible that there's many that you haven't worked with and their work might be a bit beneath you. Maybe he's an art student, an arts teacher. Should you choose to research him, however?
Okay. You want me to stalk a fellow academic for
Yes,
what?
That should
what
be
reason?
easy for you, right?
Oh, it should be so easy, but for what reason?
Ah, yeah. Oh, just, to be sure.
Insight.
Which inside, go ahead.
He's going to hide.
Okay, so I need a
you can.
manipulation subterfuge from you, please, Victor.
Nah.
No.
What is Victor trying to hide from William?
He's trying to.
How does he feel about the
I-
situation? His feelings.
He's
about
really
it.
angry and worried.
There's also a little touch of fear.
So you're the most competent here with that. It's just, making sure with everything that happened with Ella and stuff like that.
He lays a hand on Victor's shoulder. Step into my office. We need to talk.
So as you two step into William's
Okay.
office, the sisters arrive. Do you continue into the office, or do you stay out in the main area with everybody?
We'll talk about this later, Victor.
Okay.
However, I can't help you if you're not honest with me. And then he turns. Ella, Emery,
Hello.
Hey.
how are my two lovely friends?
Why are you buttering us up?
Yeah.
How did the bullets come along?
You want to check?
I don't
looks
think we
down at her.
should waste a bullet, first of all, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah. No.
But Emery will pull out the bullet that she has and show it to William.
Very finely crafted. Has a wooden tip, probably about this long. And has a metal base that obviously holds the propulsion, the powder and everything.
Interesting. Yes, these will be fine for a field test. Thank you. Thank you, Emery.
No problem. If they work, I will continue to make more of them for this group.
I think that's wise. That is a big if, but it'll be a nice field test.
I agree.
Ella rolls her eyes heavily.
Nick, you're kicking back on the couch watching all of this occur? Saying anything or just watching it?
I would imagine, because it's like vampire lore 101, stake through the heart kind of deal, right? So
Yeah.
he doesn't need to roll for it. Nick is just going to casually, like, old man, old dog, kind of roll his head up and sit up. And, the only thing I'd be worried about as a bullet is that if you're too close, it's not going to go far enough. But if you're not close enough, it's not going to go far enough to hit the heart. But it sounds like a good idea if it works. So I hope somebody's a real good shot.
I think a majority of us are pretty good at shooting.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You couldn't hit a vase at point blank range, William.
But I can certainly hit you.
Uh-huh. If you couldn't hit a target standing still, I doubt you could hit me running away. But I digress. Anyway, do you mind if I look at it, Emery?
Certainly. And I will snatch it from William, from his analytical hands, and give it to Nick.
We have done some crossbows and stake too. just to be
Right,
sure.
the surefire thing came out great.
Now,
You know,
actually,
this
Ella
feels-
was the best shot.
Do you mind if I set the target up and take a shot? Did you bring the crossbow?
Oh yeah, it's just here. Just
Yeah, we just walked into a manatee sanctuary with weapons.
he has
anticipate they're in a duffel bag.
Yes,
Yeah, that's it.
no.
he was with a duffel bag on him, so I was going to end the crossbow to you.
Which one is it? Is it the base success 5 one or the 9 with the crit?
I
Victor has
think
the more successful one. Emery
Yeah.
has the other.
But if they're both in a duffel bag, are you going to hand him a specific one? Is what I'm asking.
no, actually, it could be
Hand him the duffel bag and let him pick.
yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Or take the first one. It's the same.
What's
He's
the
gonna grab
pretty
the-
one?
He's gonna grab the one that looks more well built,
Yep.
if that makes sense. He's gonna go. Actually, ask. Do we have any targets, like little foam targets in here?
He was going to point at William and just.
As much as I banter with William, I'm not going to shoot him with a stake yet. And then
No,
he's
I
gonna
think-
go.
There's couch cushions. That's what
Yeah,
you
he's
have.
gonna grab a. Yep,
I'm
he's-
really good at making targets out of those, actually.
So I heard. He is going to set it up, preferably where a wall that if it does go completely through, he's going to not damage something important to the museum.
Ella will help him make targets out of the couch cushions.
So you make a target out of a couch cushion against a wall. This seems to be the MO for this cell. Yep. Take your shot. So give me a composure and firearms, please.
Stakeout continued. See if he beats me.
Stakeout Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
I'm gonna spend because since this is that Monday, our willpower reset, right? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna spend a point of willpower.
It's reset.
I'm shooting a couch cushion, guys. What on earth did the furniture do to you?
7, no crit.
No, that's 7 with the crit.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crit.
Oh, that's 7 with a crit. My bad.
So, 7 with a crit. You guys see Nick very expertly notch a stake into the crossbow, aim, and fire. It does get stuck in the wall and has damaged the tip of this stake.
Let's stop wasting our resources on petty little tests, shall we?
It is a piece of wood. I can go to any Home Depot or Lowe's and make another one.
I mean, we can fix this one probably.
And
Yeah.
yet, you did not invest your time and energy into making them. Our friends here did. So let's not waste any more resources, shall we?
Speaking of resources, did everyone get a chance to read the dossier?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I surely didn't just read it before everybody got here, and that's why I was here so early this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Ella's just gonna look around.
What did you think of it?
Definitely some proceedings of some supernatural activity. I also have gotten some more information about the place, which triggers me to feel like it is definitely supernatural of some sort. Or at least hiding
you-
something.
I suggest that we actually try to get them both. Because the other one seemed really important. Because it was mentioned by Dr. Sugar. So, and he seems really weird, like maybe weirder than the one we have to catch.
Yes. Well, our main objective at this current point is that binder. That's what we
Yep.
need to focus our efforts on. if we obtain an individual for testing who may be of a supernatural aspect, that is a bonus
And
for
questioning.
us.
And questioning. Sure.
Mhm.
However, if it poses a threat, we are neutralizing it.
Correct.
Which is
I
what
mean-
these wooden items are for, are they not?
Correct.
I mean, that is definitely a use of the term neutralize in this regard. I don't think that's what Ella meant, though.
So, Nicholas, do you think that will do it?
I think the only way to find out for sure if this is true or not is to shoot one with it and see what happens.
So back on the subject here, we need to either find a way to case this location, which is going to be a very hard set, because this place is fortified. It has people all around, and it looks like it's probably got some technology.
Do we know if they have security cameras?
Let me read my notes. Give me a second. They were well hidden, but still there.
I may, if you can get me access into the network, I may be able to. I've been attempting some interesting research as of late, and I may be able to pull some tricks out from under my hat.
Do we even want to know what this research is?
I don't think we do.
Let's just say that hat is rather black.
So, let's talk about this individual. From the research that I obtained from my contact, we're looking for someone named Frankie the Roach DeLuca. Apparently a known suspect within the police force, against the police force. They note him as being considerably armed and dangerous at all times. Constantly has different exit plans for whatever situation they are in, and are known for using fire and acid substances to cover his tracks. Apparently, narcotics unit has kind of been on his tail for the past 5 years. The location he's in now is new. He's only been there for a few months. He has a very shitty business front, which is just drug delivery cover-ups. He does have staff that are crawling all over the place. Apparently, he has vans and drivers who just deliver boxes to places, and the drivers don't know what's in them. They don't check them. They just grab them and place them where they're supposed to go.
Do they know the people who are working for them? Can we impersonate one of them?
We might be able to, but it was reported that they're pretty drugged up in some form, or they don't simply remember things.
They don't remember things?
That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
There was some indication that this guy really likes to read other people's things. So maybe we can entice him with a journal, or maybe one of William's writings of some form. Obviously fake words, because if he's just a drug dealer, we don't want him knowing. But if he is a supernatural, which I suspect, it's not going to matter.
You could give him the report on La Celestina I created.
Looks like he's got 2 main staff members, one by the name of Benny, and the other goes by Rusty. Real name is Ron Felinta. Seem like they're standard addicts. Low crime record for them. But it seems like the police believe that Roach will just let anyone die for him as long as he gets away.
Real stand-up guy.
And apparently he has ample legal representation because he sells drugs.
Hmm.
So,
Sounds like a real pillar of the community.
truly. So I think our main thing is we know the location. We could do some staking out, but I don't know how well that's going to go. If his security is high enough to catch us, then we're either going to have to act immediately or try to follow him if he runs.
Yeah, we have to find one moment where he's not with the whole security team, because it's going to be a massacre if we try to go head on.
That being said, clearly not. I guess he's not a vampire, at least, because he's in the day.
He's been seen out in daylight.
Yeah, he says he's been seen out in the day, but he does get significant sunburns, which could just be his skin tone.
Are Nick, when Emery brings that back up, he's gonna go grab some books off of his library and look through some things while they're talking, doing what he's good at, cult research. See if he's heard about any day-walking vampire.
Intelligence, academics. Or you can do intelligence occult.
I would say since he's using that library, it's more occult.
Can Ella help with that?
Remember, you have your addition for the library as well.
How many was that, Cole?
From memory, it was a 1 dot.
I thought so.
So you can gain a 1 dot from the library and 1 dot from Ella, who follows Nick as he goes and starts poring over the books.
And then I get a +1 for my artifact, correct?
This is more research rather than just. I'll give it to you. So, yeah, I'll give it to you this time because of the recent events that have occurred in the cell. But in average, it's more to do with things actively using occult than just researching it, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
It's been a bit of extra spiritual activity in the safe house as of late, so I'll let you have it. You good?
I'm bad at math. We're gonna will that. Six successes.
Okay, with 6 successes, you are able to find some information that is more recent. That you are unsure as to whether they are actually vampires or servants of vampires, but they have been seen out during the day. So it's not definitive. It gives you the possibility it could be, but there's not quite enough research present at this point in time in your library.
Emery, do you have anything about, I don't know, the building? Vantage points?
Yes, so it's a dilapidated building, but they have significantly new locks that seem solidly reinforced. So it's going to be hard to break in unless we hit a spot that is maybe too dilapidated to have been repaired.
Any windows? Any vantage point where we can actually look?
Storyteller? There's no image for this place.
No, there is not an actual image for this place that I've given you guys. So, pardon me, based on the photos alone, it's reasonable to assume that you can see the locks. There is a possibility you could always pick the locks. They look like manual locking systems. There are some windows, they're quite high up, but they are there. You don't have a photo of the back of the building, So you would have to do reconnaissance to find that out. And to get a better understanding of that. You do know, obviously, as well, you draw your attention to the driveway that goes down the side of the building and hooks around to the back laneway. That is a potential exit point. Otherwise, not really. That'd require more recon than you have.
Mm-hmm. My suggestion to this is we do a round of recon in the day and a round at night to see any plausible differences.
Yeah, maybe we can do surveillance, find a routine of the guard, basically. You know, the role, how to say that? Sorry.
Routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the patrol and stuff like that.
Yeah, we need to see what the back of that building looks like.
And I would suggest we do it in separate teams. We shouldn't have the same people doing the reconnaissance day and night. Otherwise, we're gonna get noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Can we find anything about the I don't know, the blueprints of the of the building or the sewers under? Maybe if they have multiple escape routes, maybe we have to know them.
Well, William, you've been taking some tech courses.
Yes.
Is there any way you could get city blueprints of this building?
Perhaps.
You're possibly getting a body out of this, so you should be more willing to work here.
You're acting like I'm unwilling to work. I will see what I can do. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no.
Nicholas
enough.
pops his head up from his book because I imagine he's still reading through some of the stuff.
Yes.
You're unwilling to work and just goes back to reading.
I'm going to push you into the manatee tank.
They're so
Let
sweet.
them out of
I've
it.
been
Yeah.
sitting with them. They're about to be released, and I'm so happy for them. And then he goes back to reading again. He just gets really excited about the manatees.
Yes.
Question about the photo given to us.
Yes.
Are there any noticeable marks on the image?
On the image of the person,
Mm-hmm.
what you can see. When you're
Okay,
asking for
good.
noticeable marks, what do you mean?
Puncture wounds in the neck.
Okay, so you are looking specifically at the photographs, which are essentially more mugshots of the individual. For those following along at home, the individual is quite skinny, red-headed male, wearing very scruffy clothing and covered in a myriad of different tattoos and scars. Bags under the eyes. The mugshot that is contained within his file, he looks like crap. There's a pretty good chance they've roughed him up a bit, maybe a bit of blood pouring out of the nose sort of thing. You're looking for potential puncture wounds. Give me a wits awareness, please.
Oh, great. I'm the
To
perfect
look.
person for this one,
Wits
guys.
awareness or wits investigation, you can take your choice.
I'll take investigation.
Gimme.
While you're looking at a mugshot.
Ooh. I will accept that. 5 successes on a crit.
Wow.
I know. My first crit.
First good wits roll for a while. It's getting there, it's getting there. You don't notice puncture marks per se. You do notice that one of the tattoos that comes up the neck looks fresher or newer than some of the others. So it's probably,
I'll cover up.
I was going to say that tattoo is probably about 2 years old, where some of the
Oh.
others are a bit older than that. They look more faded. It's a fresh out looking
Fair enough.
tattoo.
Fair enough.
You can decide whether or not you think that's a cover up.
I know it's a cover up of something. He's clearly covered something up, but it could have just been a scar.
So, with that and the knowledge that you guys will need to possibly recon a building, do a bit more research into professors, blueprints, security cameras, a few other things. You guys have had quite a successful evening. What's up? We missed one. What's up?
Nick was at this point. Nick, I'd imagine, would be done with the research because I imagine this wouldn't have been instantaneous.
No.
He's gonna look and say, it could be a daywalker, but it could also be like a servant. So maybe let's not stake that one right away. Let's just in case.
Yeah, another one like the kid that worked with Harris.
Other than that, that's all I got right now.
So, on that note, we're going to leave the cell for the evening and see whether next week is research or action. Could go either way with this lot, really. Will this be Lana 2.0 or will this be a successful hunt? We'll see. Good night, everyone.